It's Friday, April 19. In the headlines, the Jamaica Urban Transit Company is set to receive 100 buses to boost its fleet. In business news, GK Investments has increased its stake in Spur Tree Spices. Regionally, St. Lucia's government enacts Regulated Substances Fund. And in sports, West Indies women wins their first ODI against Pakistan. This is the weekend news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaica Urban Transit Company Limited's fleet will be given a boost with the planned purchase of 100 buses. Speaking at this week's post-cabinet press brief, Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan, said Cabinet has approved the award of a contract to Vaughan's Motor and Company Limited to purchase the vehicles.
And this was endorsed by the Public Procurement Commission, and the award was for $18,900,000 US.
Speaking in the House of Representatives earlier this year, Minister of Science, Energy, Technology and Telecommunications and Transport, Daryl Vaz, said the CNG-fueled buses are expected to arrive in time for the start of the 2024-2025 academic year in September. He said the buses will form a part of the 300 mixed energy units that the government will be acquiring over the next 3 years to improve the public transportation system. The Housing Agency of Jamaica, HAJ, will be divesting 3 parcels of land located in Hopewell, Hanover at a cost of $850 million. That's the word from Minister of Information Robert Morgan. The parcels will include 1 beachfront and 2 contiguous lots will be divested to LCH Development Limited.
And the HAJ will be allowed to retain the full proceeds of the sale in relation to the property, as well as the other 2 parcels.
Minister Morgan was speaking at this week's post-cabinet press brief. He also informed that approval was given for the award of $1.3 million US, a contract by the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority for the provision of a new instrument landing system for Norman Manley International Airport. The contract was awarded to Intelcan Techno Systems Incorporated. Ambassador of the Dominican Republic to Jamaica, Her Excellency Angie Martinez, spoke of the improved bilateral relations between Jamaica and her country and welcomed various ministers and dignitaries at a gala hosted by the embassy at her residence Thursday evening. The event was part of Dominican Week activities from April 12 to April 19 to celebrate the enduring friendship between the countries and foster economic cooperation, cultural exchange, and mutual understanding. Millicent Sankey is the president of the St. Anne's Disabilities Association. She has held the position since 2017. Mrs. Sankey is blind, but she was not always blind. She describes growing up with night blindness, being the only one in her family with the illness.
So I grew up with him, and how we used to hold our hands to write. He would put his hand around our neck to get the hand, to hold it on the slate so that we could form letters. So I didn't have to worry about writing on the line because he would have already set the pencil there. And then those days it was pencil and slate.
She was part of the first group of the National Youth Service, volunteering to work in Parade Gardens in Kingston. She moved on to train in the area of home economics, where her interest in the significance of family deepened, and she eventually started working with what was then the Bureau of Women Affairs, then the Combined Disabilities Association.
And all that happened down in 2002 because I realized now the site was really going. Even though I had my children, I got married, I have my children, so on and so forth. But then I lost my husband early. Children were small. So I said, okay, I got myself to these societies now where I can be more secured. And so I had to travel to Kingston to go to meetings at CDA from here in St. Anne.
Yes.
So what I did, I said, I made the discussion with Miss Gloria Goff, and she is the executive director. And I said, you know, lots of people out there, and so if we could just get the chance to have a group out there, it would be much better and easier. And she thought about it, and yes, it did happen in 2015, thanks to Combined Disability being our parent group, and now we have our own. At present, we have 169 on the books, but you know, we can say now 112 is most current.
She has far surpassed the expectations of a community hero in every aspect of her life, how she lives. I have seen evidence as how she communicates with her fellow Jamaicans. I worked with her with the Edgehill School of Special Education, of which I was the board chairman of those 4 satellite units for 4 years. And every initiative we had to reach the parents, because those are the people we needed to influence as to the quality of care and their involvement with the special needs children, Millicent was there to give me and the parents the support. Also the teachers, because while you would say a special needs child having been admitted to one of these government schools, there are only 10 students to a trained teacher and a supply teacher, but you would know with the diverse type of disabilities they each have, it takes a really yeoman service in order to get them to learn. And Millicent has a peculiar way of just saying a few words that would change even the hardest heart.
My name is Delia Davy, and I'm here in the group with Miss Sankey, Millicent Sankey. She is an awesome lady, and without she, I don't think that I could go on another minute. I'm a schizophrenia patient, and she helped me a lot. Even sometimes when I say that I don't have the bus fare to come to London, she would say, Delia, put on your clothes and come now. We need you at the London. And she will push out an effort and say that even though the change is so small, we still appreciate it. And she tried to make everybody feel welcome and comfortable. And she provides the land so we can work on to achieve things.
I think that Miss Millicent Sankey is a community hero because she's a very persistent person in getting everybody to come together and playing a part in society. She has brought everyone from different racial backgrounds and different groups of society, whether it be disabled or able-bodied persons, and she has put into their minds that they can come together no matter what the situation is, and they can come together and do something to benefit everyone here.
I am Guinness Barker, but most people can't say Guinness, them just say Guinness. So, and the reason why I know that Mrs. Millicent Sankey is a community hero is because from what I've seen firsthand, she's a champion for the disabled community, especially in St. Anne. She's very, very passionate about the members and also try to bring in any new member possible, whether it be an acquired disability or someone who was born with their disability. You could be deaf, dumb, blind, crippled by any way that you are being impaired. She tries to bring you into her group and advocate for you so that you can live a more fulfilling and comfortable life.
SEDA, as the group is fondly called, now sits on 30 acres of land. It has a first building for their planned training center, but most importantly, it is divided into plots that is being used as farms for the association's members. This is her legacy, a sustainable plan where her members will be able to eat what they grow and earn from it. Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. GK Investments has increased its stake in Spur Tree Spices Jamaica. In a notice to the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the parent company, Grace Kennedy, said 60 million units of shares in Spur Tree Spices Jamaica Limited were purchased by the firm. This brings GK's investment stake in the spices manufacturer to 20.18%. Jamaica received 43 million attempted cyber attacks in 2023, according to data from FortiGuard Labs, Fortinet Threat Intelligence and Analysis Laboratory. Our Today reports that the Latin American and Caribbean region suffered 200 billion attempted attacks in 2023, accounting for 14.5% of the total reported globally last year. Mexico, Brazil, and Colombia were the Latin American countries with the highest cyber attack activity in 2023. The annual cost of alcoholic beverages and cigarettes has increased by 4.4% on average. For the month of March, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, says alcoholic beverages, tobacco, and narcotics increased inflation by 0.3%. This was mainly due to a 0.3% rise in the cost of alcoholic beverages due to higher prices for wine, beer, spirits, and liquors. There was also a 0.2% increase in the cost of tobacco products. During trading on April 18, 2024, the top three advancing stocks covered the tourism, real estate, and distribution sectors on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Sagicor X Fund shares advanced by 10.53% for a 76-cent price increase to close at $7.98 with 546 shares traded. Stanley Motor Limited shares advanced by 9.93% for a 61-cent price jump to close at $6.75 with 973 shares traded. Paramount Trading Jamaica Limited shares advanced by 7.41% for a 10-cent slight upward price movement to close at $1.45 with 2,834 shares traded. On the declining stocks that traders experienced on April 18, 2024, the top three losers covered the transport and distribution sectors. Kingston Wharves Limited declined by 14.69% for a $4.51 price drop to close at $26.19 with 2,508,167 shares traded. MFS Capital Partners Limited declined by 11.11% for an 18-cent downward slide in price to close at $1.44 with 193,271 shares traded. Lasco Financial Services Limited declined by 9.95% for a 19-cent drop in price to close at $1.72 with 21,656 shares traded. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, trading on April 18, 2024, trading activity on the first-tier market registered a volume of 82,752 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange, valued at $831,862 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 62 cents. Trinidad and Tobago NGL Limited was the volume leader with 29,106 shares, changing hands for a value of $261,477 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 24 cents. followed by Massey Holdings Limited with a volume of 22,088 shares being traded for 94,889 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 62 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On April 18, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $68.5 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $67.6 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $156.57 and bought the US dollar for $155.14. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.43, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $1.21 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $115.29 and bought for $114.08. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $4.47, selling it for $193.61 and buying it for $189.14. For our credit report tip of the day, having different types of credit options means you can achieve your life goals faster, provided you have a plan in place to pay back the debt. We encourage you to keep in touch with your banker and track your progress with your credit report. So stay in touch with your banker to see how things are going. Check your credit score regularly to see if it's getting better. If you have any questions or run in any problems, don't hesitate to reach out to your banker for help. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, in Trinidad and Tobago, 3 people from the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, have been identified to conduct an investigation into what caused the deaths of several premature babies at the Port of Spain General Hospital.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has confirmed that several professionals from the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, are expected before the end of the month to determine the cause of death of several premature babies at the neonatal intensive care unit of the Port of Spain General Hospital.
I can report to you now that PAHO has identified 3 persons who will be their team to Trinidad and Tobago. They expect to mobilize these people and be here in a few days before the end of this month, or by the end of this month. This is the deadline they're working with.
In the interim, Dr. Rowley said the hospital is doing everything in its power to eliminate the threat and danger from that ward. He said the investigation will determine what occurred and examine the records and protocols with its list of recommendations. Dr. Rowley, though, refuted claims that the health sector had collapsed.
What I just said is that let us not use this instance, which is quite disastrous, at one location to send the gong, the message that the health system has collapsed and that we should lose confidence in the health system. There are thousands of people in the health system, as I speak to you this minute, who are providing appropriate health care. Right? So let us get to the bottom of this particular one.
And the Prime Minister said this incident with the deaths of several babies comes following a very good track record of neonatal deliveries.
This development here is at variance with what was happening in our system. And I say this so that we know what is better. We were well below the level that was required to qualify as a progressive nation with respect to infant mortality. And here comes this incident.
He also dispelled the claims that the PAHO team is a political appointment, noting that PAHO conducts such independent investigations around the globe to determine and provide recommendations to improve health delivery. Sonolala, TTT News.
In St. Lucia, Minister for Finance and Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre sought parliamentary approval for the establishment of a special fund called Regulated Substances Fund to facilitate the operations of the Regulated Substances Authority that will oversee the nascent cannabis industry.
The Regulated Substances Fund, intended for uses beyond cannabis, including alcohol, explosives and pesticides, was before the House Tuesday for approval. Commerce Minister Emma Hippolyte elaborated on the fund's purpose.
The cannabis and radioactive substances are not the only substances and areas which the Regulated Substances Authority will be actively engaged in. There is the intention to bring substances such as alcohol, petroleum products, explosives, toxic chemicals, and pesticides within the regulatory framework.
The fund also benefits the agriculture and security sectors.
The purpose of the fund is to facilitate the operations of the Regulated Substances Authority. And 2, notwithstanding subsection 1, Cabinet may declare the monies of the fund to be used for specific matters relating to regulated substances or any other related matter. Mr. Speaker, based on the information that we have and the areas that we've seen, the areas to directly benefit from this fund are, for the time being, healthcare, manufacturing, agriculture, security, and commerce, which these substances relate to.
The Regulated Substances Authority oversees the fund and develops awareness programs for high-risk groups and support initiatives.
H, to facilitate scientific research and development in respect of a regulated substance. And J, to develop and implement, in collaboration with a ministry, department, or agency, a comprehensive public health education and training program to raise public awareness, especially for high-risk groups. This is important for us, Mr. Speaker, especially in the area of cannabis that we are dealing with at the moment. 2, social, emotional, and mental support programs for persons dealing with a regulated substance. And 3, proper procedures for the safe storage and disposal of regulated substances.
The fund advances cannabis industry legislation. The motion would pass the House. Gino Filippi, HTS News Force.
An NFT, or non-fungible token, is a digital asset that can be in the form of art, music, in-game items, videos, and more. Charlene Lewis breaks it all down.
Imagine an image, a song, a video, or game. Have you ever wondered how these things are owned if they're being bought and sold online? Called NFTs, they are created or minted from digital objects that represent both tangible and intangible items. Here's how.
Imagine that you made a piece of digital art, essentially a JPEG on your computer. You can create or mint an NFT out of this. The NFT that represents your art contains a bit of information about it, such as a unique fingerprint of the file, a token name, and a symbol. This token is then stored onto a blockchain and you, the artist, become the owner.
So how do NFTs work? At a very high level, most NFTs are part of the Ethereum blockchain, though other blockchains have implemented their own version of NFTs. Ethereum is a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Dogecoin, but its blockchain also keeps track of who's holding and trading NFTs.
NFTs can also be used to sell concert tickets, domain names, rare in-game items, real estate, and basically anything that is unique and needs proof of ownership.
The NFT market is considered high risk. If you're thinking of buying NFTs, it's important to have a clear understanding of the process.
So we scroll down here, we can see I've already got an NFT here. And then if we click on this little wallet, we can see my wallet balance right now. So you can see I've got 0.06 Ethereum and I've also got 0.0006 in Polygon. So now it's time to go and find an NFT that I would like to buy. So you can simply click on Marketplace and begin scrolling down.
And even though there's a lot we don't know about NFTs, it can assist us in owning things online, which is a positive feeling about the future of digital and creativity.
In sports, we are on the pitch with cricket. The first of 3 one-day internationals between the West Indies women and Pakistan women was contested in Karachi on Thursday. The series is significant as it will contribute to the ongoing ICC Women's Championship. A positive start was crucial for the West Indies women as they push for direct qualification for the ICC Women's World Cup that is due to take place in India in 2025. Wayne Cunningham reports.
The West Indies women won the toss and elected to bat first at Karachi in the first one-day international. And they got off to a rocky start, losing Rashada Williams in the third over with just 1 run on the board. They recovered well though, with Captain Hayley Matthews and her deputy Shermaine Campbell putting on 102 runs for the second wicket in 127 balls, before Campbell fell for 45 in the 24th over.
There it is, 50 for her, slightly wider.
The other significant contribution was 23 off of 23 balls from Chanel Henry, but it was all Matthews after that, as she brought up a century in the 44th over of 124 balls, with the Windies on 203 for 5. At the end of the 50 overs, the skipper went on to 114 not out, with 15 fours and 1 6, as the West Indies women closed on 269 for 8.
That's nicely done.
Sadaya Iqbal had the best bowling figures for Pakistan, taking 2 wickets for 38 runs. Tuba Hassan got 2 for 48.
That's a good shot. A little too full and that'll be put away.
The home team never really fired in the run chase as Matthews took over with the ball to cement his status as a world-leading all-rounder. She took 3 for 17 as Pakistan could only reach 156 all out in 35.5 overs. Zaida James and Afi Fletcher were also impressive with the ball, getting 2 for 14 and 2 for 19 respectively. Hassan offered the most resistance with the bat for Pakistan with 25 and 25 balls, as the West Indies women won the first one-day international by 113 runs. And Hayley Matthews was easily the player of the match. Game 2 is on Sunday, starting at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Caribbean time. Wayne Cunningham, TTT Sport.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Have a pleasant weekend.